The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is losing a record number of its membership.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. The opening hymn is Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me. Closing hymn, The Police, Every Breath You Take. See the description below. I've had since July 28th a complete shutdown of my ability to obtain recordings of online streaming content that I've paid for. Nobody wants to take responsibility for doing it. Everybody claims innocence and tells me to go blame somebody else. And just now I finished, and thus I'm doing this video, with watching Bill Maher's show from Friday. Turns out other people don't have my problem. It's exclusive just to me. And as a result, I would have missed Bill Maher doing a Mormon joke. Mitt Romney used to hand out pamphlets. Now with Google, people are able to see for themselves that this guy's nuts for being Mormon. You have seen that I use a news clip from ABC4 News Utah way back in the day. It was 2012 when the news clip was released, when they made that report. At that time, the church had successfully locked me up indefinitely in Utah's concentration camp. Not prison, Utah's concentration camp. Exactly like Nazi Germany. And the news report talked about how back then the member of the 70 said that there's probably about 5 million active Mormons. His name is Marlon K. Jensen. And it's worse now. I've estimated, as I've done the videos on it, that there's probably around 3 million. So despite the church's increase in membership numbers, there's actually a decrease. The church is different from all other religions in that they keep detailed records of you about where you live, your contact information, your personal life. They know how many times you've been divorced, for example. They know where you've lived. They keep track of you. That's how detailed they are. The Catholics, yeah, they only keep track of who shows up for the Mass. That's their measurement of how well they're doing. And so the church's 16 plus million is a bit deceptive. Because if we were to go by those who show up at church, you get 3 million around, plus or minus. Because if you're not active, you're not Mormon. And what both of them tied the mass exodus from Mormonism was the internet. The ability to utilize Google search to access social media, where people are able to spread the information around. I warned you that that's why Nelson did what he did when he said Jesus is now mad for using the nicknames. That's exactly why he did it. So that he can control the Google search. That he can control the social media platforms through the analog system. So that when you type in Mormon, all you get now is a whole long list of scroll downs for pages on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Don't be fooled into thinking it was Jesus who's mad. But of course, the 3 million believe anything he tells them. The whole world is now able to watch the church. 12 million watched the video on YouTube that, according to YouTube's own policies, should have been taken down and their whole channels banned from YouTube for life. You know, like they did with Trump finally. The healing power of gratitude to cure coronavirus, huh? Wow. Talk about your social media influencer. So, I did a video today that included porn, and true to the nature of the analog program, it started to be a breakout. Started. YouTube will not allow me a breakout video anymore. Because the church gets hurt with their emotions when I do anything online about the church. I used to have a website. When you Google searched for picture images, yeah, all mine. So what did the church do? They bought out my website and shut me down. Exactly what YouTube is doing. I've told you over and over again, I have the documents. I followed the money trail that the church ordered and paid for my assassination. That's why I was locked up for an indefinite period of time that only ended up being 6 years of my life instead of the rest of my life. Now, each and every single one of you, and it's probably just one, thanks to YouTube, know exactly what I've been going through. Because whether you're Mormon among the 3 million, or whether you're not Mormon or an ex-Mormon, the church is aiding and abetting in the destruction of the whole human race. If you hadn't noticed, we've got an extermination event going on right now. Beyond genocide, it's a racicide. The human race is being extinguished, exterminated by humans. If it hadn't have been for that optometrist in Hong Kong who leaked to the world that we had a viral outbreak from China, we'd already have billions of humans dead from coronavirus. And you're debating whether or not it was a lab leak or from the market with bats, when what you should be asking yourself is, why is China covering that up? Why did China want billions of humans to die and covered it up? Why does our government leaders want us to die? They tried telling you it was a hoax. They tried telling you that hydroxychloroquine will cure you. They tried telling you injecting yourself with disinfectants will cure you. But nope. The real winner is not just the healing power of gratitude or Jesus, the magic cures. Nope, it's the animal drugs that are making Americans, particularly those who watch Fox 13, or not Fox 13, it could be Fox News. You guys are so focused on warring with those who are not of your tribe. And it's not just religion. It's politics, social circles, financial circles, and then the race, sex, sexuality circles, that you are ignoring the reality that's bearing down on all of mankind. We're being exterminated. But it's important for Mormons to understand this, because they won't. The president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a medical doctor who knew about coronavirus and how serious it is trying desperately and winning to murder Mormons, and is making a lot of money off of your suffering, your hospitalization, your death, your blindness, your ignorance of the Book of Mormon warning, your refusal to apply the Book of Mormon in your life. It tells you exactly which church to stay away from. Why are you so obsessed with telling the world that Joseph Smith is crazy, that the church is true because of it, but you aren't like that? You're not like the founder who's crazy. You understand what I'm talking about? CNN just came out with fast facts about the church. Oh, Joseph Smith talks with the dead and looks at a rock and a hat to come up with the Book of Mormon, and was practicing polygamy before he was practicing polygamy, which he never was practicing polygamy, but now they've changed it so that the 1835 Doctrine and Covenants had section 132 that was put in by Brigham Young the year before he died in his version of the Doctrine and Covenants, in which he then had to remove Joseph's chapter on monogamy and the part of monogamy for exaltation in section 131. You have to go to the Joseph Smith papers to even know that it was gutted from it. So yes, Google does help us in exposing the church. Lets people know that Mormons are whacked. But you can't just say, hey, we're no longer racist because we allow blacks into the church since 1978. We're no longer sexist because we still suppress women. We're not bigoted, even though Jeffrey R. Holland called out the valedictorian of BYU. I see John Dolan is capitalizing on that one. There's another predator for you. But again, are you a tribal person? How dare you talk to John Dolan? He's a voice of ex-Mormons. No, he's not. If you're not listening to my videos on how psychology is evil. In World War II, in Nazi Germany, Hitler's regime used psychologists to torture the Jews. (1960s) Russia used psychologists to lock up their political opponents. You think the church would not be involved with such crackpots? You haven't heard Elder Holland talk about how mental illness is real. It's not real. There's no such thing. Psychology is a junk science. In technical terms, it's called a pseudoscience. Fake. It's not real. John Dolan is not real. He's fake. And if you support him, you have been brainwashed by him. Good job. Just like Mormons to Nelson. The world is able to see everyone's behavior, even if they becomes deep fakes or photoshopped. I hope when I become popular, which means YouTube will relent, the church will back off, that people are kind. You'll know by how generous certain sizes are. Oh, that's a deep fake. That's not real. When Mormons attack me and other critics of the church, people are watching. They see you as representing the church being bullies, using the ridiculous arguments of fallacy, and talking about Joseph Smith like he's a crazy person, and yet you're claiming he's our living prophet who founded the church and we love him and he loves us. The young women's. People see this. Bill Maher just exposed it online to all the world who watches HBO. This is how the church collapsed. The lie that they built up in 1923, and I've gone over it with you. They had to get things in order first. Remove the doctrine from the Doctrine and Covenants. It's all collapsing. It's all being exposed. And it's so frustrating because I knew how to properly utilize YouTube and Google to find out for myself what is my own religion's real church history. Because the church is lying to me. They're confessing to lying to me. I pursued an education where I designed my own education. I was allowed to do that. And in so doing, found out Joseph Smith is a translator of Hebrew and Egyptian. But the church says no. And the church went on a full-on campaign to destroy me. Because I said, yes. Isn't it great? Church is true? Yeah. Not the current one. Joseph's. Nothing is the same as Joseph's, having done the research in real church history. His organization is gone. Was gone with his murder. The inside job. What we have today is not his church. Like the clip I always show from Nelson himself. And so yes, my information that I pass on to you is foreign. It's not part of a tribal group of ex-Mormon or Mormon. And it's confusing both sides. Are you Mormon or ex-Mormon, Travis? I can't tell. You support Joseph, but are awesome with your thumbnail presentations. I miss the days of my website when my pictures were all over Google. I was surprised at how far wide and spread they were. If you're going to be examples of the church, why are you being the bad examples? Why are you helping to destroy it? Why are you helping in the murder of the human race? Why are you just getting angry when I point this out to you? Why are you allowing the internet to mask your identity because you're ashamed to reveal yourself when you put a thumbs down, when you put a death threat comment, when you put a hate comment, when you argue fallaciously, when you claim that Joseph Smith is a wacko, but the church is true, and we don't do that anymore. You can't say Joseph is whacked, but we're not like that anymore. You have to either stand by Joseph, or you need to say, I have to find out what's really going on, because that doesn't sound right. Was Joseph really a child rapist? That doesn't sound right. I need to find out the truth. The church is claiming, yeah, child rapist, and he's a prophet of God. Church is true. Ex-Mormons are going, oh my God, he's a rapist of little children. Get me the hell away from it. But nobody is saying, hey, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. I need to find out the truth. That's only been me. And that's where I'm unique. And it's confusing people. Was Joseph into magic and witchcraft? Mormonism and the magic worldview? Or is it code? Travis keeps talking about this code, and he went over a long video. I fell asleep multiple times. I didn't understand it. Tamara, no Terracon. I did understand Gematria was 666. I don't know. I'm watching the entire destruction of my people. Not just Mormons, humans. And the Book of Mormon warned of that, remember? A couple of times warned us that this was a potential scenario. But it's a real history, right? So it's not going to happen to us. That was the dumb Nephites who were wicked. We're not wicked. We're the one true church. With flavored Kool-Aid of Corona, Delta, and coming soon, Lambda. So yeah, it's disgusting. Both sides of you. That you would rather bicker and argue about whether you are or whether you're not a hater, rather than looking around and going, hey, wait a minute, I'm being exterminated. Somebody's trying to murder me. And Travis is the one voice trying to warn me to save my life. And I want to argue with him and put a thumbs down on his videos. Because clearly YouTube doesn't like him and is being discriminatory against him, favoring the church with their magic cures of coronavirus and not shutting them down. So, the start of another week. Afghanistan is going through their exodus. The world is going to pot. And America wants to be just like the world. And Mormons want the church destroyed.